Hey, good morning. Hope that everyone is doing well. I see somebody from France, so I guess if you're in France or England or something, good afternoon. Morning here in the United States, though. Hope that everyone is doing well. Um, I'm going to assume that everyone can hear me right now. Everybody's responding, so yeah, I guess the audio is good to go. Um, I'll try and kinda keep up with the chat. Sometimes it gets moving a little bit fast for me, and I'll get to, you know, rambling on some sort of tangent or something like that, and I might miss a question. So, um, yeah, if I miss anything, I'll try and circle back and get it or just ask the question again. Somebody from Bermuda. Interesting. I've never been to, Bermuda before. I've got a feeling if I ever go, my wife would insist on joining me on that trip. Um, Somebody says, "Wake up, JD." I was up late last night, and yeah, I'm actually pretty tired this morning. But stayed up late last night watching the Lord of the Rings series on Amazon, The Rings of Power. We decided to like power through the last 4 episodes, and I ended up falling asleep during the last episode, and then was up probably about 4:30 this morning. But anyway, Uh, Jeffrey, what is with you bumping your head in most videos? I actually have a good explanation for that. Um, so a couple of things. When I'm in those bunkers or inside of a ship or something like that, I get tunnel vision. So I'm sitting there and I'm holding this camera out, and that's where my focus is, and I don't see or pay attention to anything else around me, and yeah, that's where I typically get the head trauma from. I really don't bump my head like in everyday life, just day to day, just going around cracking my skull. It just seems to be when I'm in an enclosed, tight space on the video. But yeah, and then I of course I also wear a cap. There's one video in that um, Northern Mariana Island series where Fred and I go back to the final command post where General Saito committed suicide. And he said, so you can kind of pick it up. He says something to me about how that's why I never wear a cap when I'm in the jungles because I can't see. Let's see. Benita Grattan says personal question. Whoop, just slipped by me here. Um, what is the tattoo on your arm? This might be the most commonly asked question or most frequently asked question that I get on the channel. People asking about this tattoo that I have on my arm. That's the Russian word usanovlin, which translates in English to adopted. So it has a dual meaning. One, you know, something that you may have picked up from watching the shows or anything like that is that I'm a Christian guy, Christ follower, and there's a verse in the book of Galatians in chapter 4. Um, just paraphrasing here, that talks about how we are essentially spiritual outsiders, and God adopts us into His family. So it pulls from that. But the reason that it's in Russian, the dual meaning is my wife and I have 3 kids that we adopted from Ukraine. So anyway, and they were Russian speaking. So a lot of things that are going on over in Ukraine right now are quite personal to us. A lot of familiar places. Have a lot of friends there. But anyway, that's the story behind the tattoo. We got late evening from Western Australia. Another one from Australia. Man, I need to get down to Australia at some point. I would love to visit there. Um, and oh yeah, Stephen Smith. Boo Tolkien is rolling over in his grave. Yeah, like I said, I fell asleep during the last episode. I watched it just because I felt obligated to. It's honestly not great. The that's just, of course, my opinion. Um, yeah, they really dropped the ball on that. And heck, I could probably go on for the rest of this live chat talking about the issues with the new Lord of the Rings series. Let's see, Michael Reed asking if I have anything with the Mexican War someday. Yes. Yeah, I just need to get down there. Let's see, any more overseas trips planned? Um, Funny that you should mention that. I actually, just a couple of weeks ago, got back from an overseas trip. I was over in southern Germany. So, with the timeline that I have mapped out right now for the channel and when things are going to roll out, you should see some things from that trip uh, probably around the new year. Um, I have some things. We're getting ready to start an Antietam series now. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. But then, yeah, the Germany stuff probably around the first of the year, and also have some Revolutionary War stuff that's coming up here at some point as well. But I still have to go film that. Let's see. Should do a compilation of head bumps. Yeah, I should make myself look like an idiot. Hello from Jury in Cape Town, South Africa. I love South Africa. I was down in the Port Elizabeth area. It's been a few years ago, but was there on the Eastern Cape. Was there on a hunting trip, and yeah, loved South Africa. Let's see. Somebody talking about going to Bedford. Bedford is definitely on my list. Really like that book, The Bedford Boys, and that story of those guys who fought in Normandy. Let's see. Hello from Denmark. Any plans on going to Denmark? I would love to go to Denmark someday. I have such a long list of places that I would like to visit. It's yeah. I have more. I have a longer list than I have time and money. But yeah, there really aren't any places that I wouldn't like to go visit. To be honest. Heck, if I had the opportunity to go to North Korea and know that I could get out, I'd be on the first plane there. I would love to go see that. Let's see. Just kind of looking at a few others here. Somebody asked about if I'm expanding to Rumble. I get that question often. Um, and then after I got hit with the last demonetization, I went ahead and opened up a Rumble account. And I've got some of the old stuff on there, and I'm just when I can uploading there as well. YouTube, is always going to be my primary platform. To be honest, I just being blunt, I find the user experience on Rumble to be real clunky. I don't like their layout. I don't like how they serve up videos. I just don't. Honestly, I just don't like that platform. Um, what I do like is that there's a little bit more of a free hand to operate there. But man, they in my opinion, again, they need to, I don't know, sand down some of the rough edges on it. I just hate the user experience on that platform. All right. Anyway, moving on. Somebody asking, Bill Humphrey is asking if I've been to the Jefferson Davis home in Biloxi, Mississippi. No, I've not. I had intentions of going there. When was that? It was last year. I was down in that area, and then just ended up not having. I just ran out of time and didn't make it. Seth asking, do you think you'll ever make it to the Eisenhower farm in Gettysburg? Definitely. I definitely want to go to the Eisenhower farm in Gettysburg. Um, I wanted to go there when I did that giant series in Gettysburg last year, but they were closed down at the time, and I couldn't get access into the place. So anyway, that's on the list though. Oh, let's see. I think it's Ray Lynn. I was so inspired by your Jefferson Barracks videos that I visited last weekend. I love Jefferson Barracks. There's so many interesting graves there. Beautiful cemetery too. See if I thought about doing some videos around Berlin. I would love to visit Berlin. It's another one that's high on my list. On this last trip, traveled there with Eric Dorr and flew into Munich. We were in Munich for a few days, and then drove down to Berchtesgaden. Spent some time down there. Pretty excited to show some of the footage that we shot while we were there, and then ducked down into Austria one day. We just spent a day in Austria filming some content. So a whole lot of stuff that we filmed for the American Artifact series, and then also some History Traveler content as well. While we're on the subject of that Germany trip, spent a week there. To be honest, the trip was a bit of a struggle because, man, the weather just murdered us. It was horrible. It rained pretty much every day, and rain and camera gear don't mix well together. So ended up not getting to get quite as much as I wanted, and I'm contemplating a return trip just to pick up some other things. Um, but yeah, the weather was rough. But we did get some cool stuff. Somebody asking about the Eagle's Nest. Yep, went up to the Eagle's Nest. Went to the Berghof site. Um, went to Dachau while we were in Munich, which I know there are a lot of Dachau videos on YouTube that you can see. Hopefully, can show some things that don't typically get seen or talked about at Dachau, and hopefully I can show it without getting a content restriction or an age restriction and getting the video demonetized or crushed. If you look at that, some of you may have seen the American Artifact video that we did on this Dachau photo album. In that video, I did two versions of it. In the first one, and I'm going to look up some stuff on my phone here so I have the right numbers while I'm talking. On the first video, I showed some archival footage, nothing that was like gratuitous or exploitative or anything like that, but showed some archival footage where you see what some of the U.S. soldiers saw when they went into that camp. Frankly, which some of the dead bodies that were filmed. And that video was like in the first hour, it was spiking. Like it was getting a lot of views, which I don't say that as like a vanity thing. Um, but when a lot of people are seeing a video, that's more people who are learning history, and that's a good thing. And then about an hour into that video, or I'm sorry, yeah, after the first hour, I got a message from YouTube saying that the content was objectionable, and it was getting an age restriction on it, and the video is doing this. I get that email and it plateaus, um, and that video was essentially just shut down. So I ended up releasing a re-edit of that video, and I don't know if you can. Well, I won't hold up my phone. I'll just read it. So the first video that had the archival footage in it has 16,000 views. The alternative version, where I pulled that footage out, I released it later that week. So both videos were released in the same week. The first one has 16,000 views. The second one has 94,000 views. So anyway, we will see how that goes. And then there's another video that I have that got demonetized, another American Artifact video. That, hang on a second. It's called a Bloodstained Flags of the Japanese in World War II. And in that video, Eric is reading the writing on one of the flags. And on the flag, there is a racial slur for the Japanese people that was commonly used at the time. I'm not going to say it on here because who knows what will happen. Um, but it rhymes with rap. But anyway, I got an email saying that the video was being demonetized for, and at the time I didn't know why. It said for frequent and extreme use of profanity, and I was like, "What in the heck? I don't use profanity even off camera." Anyway, dug into it, and turns out that's what it was. So reading that got that video demonetized. So anyway, let's go back here. Enough of me griping. A lot of good suggestions on places to go. Somebody's saying, I've been watching John on Sidestep. How do you know him? Just discovered your Georgia video. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Sidestep Adventures. Okay, the name, yeah. John threw me off there. Yeah, so anyway, ended up linking up with Sidestep Adventures. Oh man, it's been a couple of years ago now. But yeah, I just reached out and said, "Hey, really like your stuff, and I'm going to be down in the area, and if you want to collaborate on a video, we should." So anyway, yeah, linked up with him, and yeah, Sidestep Adventures, excellent channel, really good stuff. Let's see. Marty Smith Fan Sue, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Albert Lang, you have an awesome life, man. Living my dream. Keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, I feel fortunate to be able to do some of the things that I'm doing, and to really be able to share it and learn more. That's been the biggest joy of all of this. It's a lot of work. I don't get a lot of free time. Some people will say, I've heard people say before, like, "Oh, it must be nice." And I'll ask, I say, "What did you do when you got home from work today?" They're like, "Oh, I don't know. I laid down on the couch and watched some Netflix and did this and did that and just kind of took it easy after a long day." And I'll say, "Must be nice," because I don't do that ever. Read any good books lately, Kyle? Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I'm constantly reading something. Um, the one that I'm digging into now, being that I just was going to southern Germany. Of course, that's kind of like the birthplace of National Socialism. I read a book on Hitler, or was in the middle of one by Ian Crud, Ian something, and it was really good. Learned a lot of new things there. Okay. Oh, you got super chat from Project Past. Thank you. Just finished your Gettysburg series for the 137th time. It's fantastic. Looking forward to the Antietam content. So if you haven't subscribed to Project Past, definitely check that channel out. He's doing some Gettysburg stuff right now that is really good. As a matter of fact, he put out a video yesterday on the Iron Brigade on day one of the Battle of Gettysburg, which is something that I'm planning on coming back around to in the future. I'm going to do some more Gettysburg stuff. I have a plan mapped out in my head. But anyway, he really did a good job and has some stunning drone work that he did there. Yeah, really good channel. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. Let's see. Any more plans on going back to the Pacific? Dad was a Navy guy in the Palau Islands, So Pacific's near and dear to my heart. Yeah. So my number one place that I would like to go that is really the most accessible of places that I would want to go is Peleliu. I really, really want to visit Peleliu. Everybody asking me about Iwo Jima. Throughout that whole Pacific series, people were like, "Hey, are you going to Iwo Jima next?" Iwo Jima is almost impossible to get access to. They have like some little ceremony type thing around the anniversary, and you don't get much time on the island, and then you have to leave. And I just don't know if I want to do that. If I go to Iwo Jima, I mean, I want to do it properly, and I want to spend some time there. Um, so anyway, yeah, but yeah, definitely going back to the Pacific at some point. Um, Here's another question. Do you delve into only American history, or are you also interested in world history? That's a really good question, and one that I've been kicking around quite a bit as well, because I have all these gaps. If you look at my channel, it looks like the only thing I'm interested in is the Civil War and World War II. Um, like I said earlier, I'm getting ready to do some Revolutionary War content. Now, of course, this is American. I need to get some World War One stuff, but I have been looking at um, getting some world history stuff intermingled in as well. So I would like to go to Greece. I've never been to Greece, so I would like to go there and hit some things. Plus, in Greece you can hit some World War II, you can hit some ancient history and things like that. My brother and I are kind of trying to plan a trip to Israel at some point, hopefully next year. But would like to go to Israel and do some things. So yeah, the long term vision of the channel is to broaden things out a little bit more and to yeah get some more world history stuff in there. Um, I think I saw another question with somebody asking if I'm still teaching or if I do YouTube full time. But the answer, yeah, I still teach full time, which really creates some difficulties in kind of balancing things out. Um, you know, it makes travel exceptionally difficult. So I don't just take off when I want to and everything. Um, so yeah, so I basically have two full-time jobs right now. I don't sleep much. Any plans for a Wild West series? I do have some Western content, not as much as I would like. Um, but yeah. Let's see. Editing is terrific. Do a great job. Thank you. Okay. Does my wife like history stuff? Yeah, she does. Not to the degree that I do. She's not a freak like I am. But she does get into it. One thing that's great when my wife does go with me is if we're in a museum or if we're on a battlefield or whatever, while I'm filming, she's typically reading and, kind of gathering information wherever we happen to be. And then she can point things out to me because when I go to a place, it's go, 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 go. And I can miss things. So it's good to have her as an extra set of eyes. Um, Any plans on visiting some of the concentration camps? So if you go back to some of the videos in March, I did go to Plaszow concentration camp. And earlier in the stream, I was talking about how I just got back from Germany and went to Dachau concentration camp. And I'm actually going to pull about 3 videos out of that. But yes, I do have plans on going to some of the other concentration camp sites as well. Let's see. I think you can knock out 3 or 4 presidential home and graves in Ohio. Yeah, planning on linking up with Chris from Vlogging Through History and doing some of that stuff. He's an Ohio guy, so that's kind of near and dear to his heart. Speaking of Chris, on this Antietam series that is getting ready to crank up. I don't know if you saw the YouTube short or not that I posted a couple days ago. Yesterday I posted that. Chris and I collaborated on this Antietam series, and when it comes to, well, I was getting ready to say the Civil War, but it's really anything. Chris's depth of knowledge far surpasses mine. So anyway, we were trying to figure out like how we would shoot it, and what a collaboration would look like. And he said, "Hey, why don't we film, rather than, like me taking the cornfield and you taking Burnside Bridge and me taking Dunker Church and you taking, the final assault or whatever." He said, "What if we show different elements of the Battle of Antietam from different perspectives?" So, for example, and Chris has already cranked his stuff up. You can go to his channel and see some of the work that he's done already. And he's really, really good at telling like individual stories at the places that they happen. He just outstanding. But anyway, so what we are doing in this Antietam series is he is, for example, like the cornfield. He is telling the story from the Union perspective, and then I'm coming in and telling it from the Confederate perspective. And then we'll like flip flop, like on, I forget what else, how we split it up. But anyway, we're just kind of taking a look at the same part of the battle from different angles, that hopefully people can see the whole thing or watch the whole thing and get a real holistic look at the Battle of Antietam. And then also on a few episodes, we got Gary Edelman from the American Battlefield Trust popping in with his expertise, which I don't know of anybody who knows the Civil War, especially Gettysburg, better than Gary. Right up there would be Tim Smith from the Adams County Historical Society, which also has a great YouTube channel that you should check out. Gary said one time that Tim Smith, he said, "There's nobody who knows more about the Battle of Gettysburg than Tim Smith." And whenever Gary Edelman is saying that, that's something else. So anyway, yeah, we have multiple perspectives here on the Battle of Antietam, and I'm really excited to roll it out. My first few episodes are not going to be at Antietam. They're going to involve the Antietam campaign, so kind of working our way there. So it's going to start off looking at the Confederates crossing the Potomac River and kind of dealing with things with the Lost Order 191, which had a huge impact on the battle. And then I also go to where the Battle of South Mountain was fought. That episode was a little bit difficult for me to film. I had a tough time wrapping my head around that, and the bugs in that area were insanely bad. But then anyway, we get to Antietam. So the first two are going to be lead up to Antietam, and then we get right into the battle. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't subscribed to Vlogging Through History yet, you really should. And yeah, I'll link stuff in the descriptions so you can see that. Something that I had an idea the other day that I wish YouTube would do. So obviously we have like the History Underground channel and Vlogging Through History and Sidestep Adventures and Project Pass and Walk with History and all kinds of stuff like that. I wish that YouTube would have, I don't even know what you would call it, but for lack of a better term, like a room, like maybe the history room or something like that, where all like you could have like a channel co-op where people could subscribe to that co-op, to where, let's say, I don't know, let's say Vlogging Through History posts a video. Okay, it pops up in the feed, and then if I post a video, it pops up in the feed, to where you could have different channels that are kind of mutually supporting each other, and it could be like a one-stop shop. If you're into history, you go there, or if you are into quilting. I don't know why I just came up with quilting. But if you're into quilting, maybe 4 or 5 different channels could get together, and there's one spot where you could go on YouTube and get all of that content. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, somebody said a genre. So yeah, like a genre based thing where creators could basically have their own uh, place where people, maybe people who watch my video don't know about Walk with History, or maybe people who watch Walk with History don't know about um, Sidestep Adventures or Sandra VK, or something like that. Somebody just said, call it History Vault. Unfortunately, that name is already taken. History Channel has a website called History Vault where they have all of their content. All right. Let me back up here and see if I missed anything. Let's see. What was your favorite? Okay, History Savior 1941. Another guy that I've done some videos with in the past. What was your favorite place that you went to in the Pacific? Past series, planning on going myself. My favorite place. So Saipan, Guam, Tinian, and I'm going to throw Hawaii in there as well. It was a toss up between Saipan and Tinian. I really, really liked Tinian just because of the wildness of it. And I think I've said it in the video. I like driving my rental vehicle, and I just stop in the middle of the road and get out and film. And I said I felt like I was the last man on earth. It just feels like when you get there on the north part of the island. Now there is like Tinian Town down in the south. You get there in the north and get on some of those beaches and get on those old landing strips. It feels like the land that time forgot or something. I absolutely loved that day that I spent on Tinian. And then I really like Saipan as well. Saipan feels like a small town to me. When I went to Guam, I didn't, I mean, Guam is bigger. Of course, there are, military bases there, a lot more people. It's a lot more built up and developed. So anyway, oh, Thomas asking, what energy drink am I drinking? This, make sure not to spill it on my keyboard, is Jocko Go. So this is made from Origin Labs. This is their new flavor, Pink Mist, which is a pink lemonade flavor, and it is really good. But it's all natural stuff, so they don't have any added sugar in it there in the drink. It's sweetened with monk fruit. There's no artificial flavorings or preservatives or any of that stuff. It's really, really good. Also, it's hoodie season, so I broke out the old heavy hoodie from Origin as well. Let's see. History Coming Alive. Thank you for all you do to preserve history. Inspired me to start my own series. Oh, on local veterans called The Local Boys. Filming an interview episode tomorrow. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, thank you. Let me just scroll down here. Oh my gosh, there have been a billion comments, and I have just well, let me back up here. Oh my gosh. Joey Delosier. I hope I didn't butcher your last name. It was great meeting you and Eric back in June. Looking forward to seeing you in the Shenandoah Valley. Yeah, I can't wait to get some stuff down in there. Yeah, and it's great meeting you too. I'll be back in Gettysburg. I get there a couple times a year. Yeah, and I always enjoy, meeting people. Let's see. I'm just kind of grabbing some random things here. Mehul Lad says, I see you have Jocko as a sponsor. Do you have any videos with him? Would love to see the two of you talking military history. Yeah, that would be cool. Somebody asked if I listened to Jocko's podcast. Yeah, it's excellent stuff. So the company that like makes this hoodie, this is all like American made. Okay, so it's American cotton. It's grown in Texas, I think. It's woven in America, stitched together in America, designed. I mean, the company is awesome. And if you go back to October of 2020, I have 2 or 3 videos where I went up to Maine and went to the origin facility and kind of showed what they're about. So yeah, Jocko is part owner of that company. Business partner is Pete Roberts, and Pete's kind of the guy on the ground in Maine who is pushing together a lot of this stuff. And then this is the Jocko Fuel, is kind of a division of that whole conglomerate. Anyway, long story short, his Jocko is probably like the busiest man on the planet. I've not met him or even spoke with him. I've talked to a lot of the people around him and interfaced with them quite a bit. But yeah, I would love to do some work with him at some point. That could be awesome. Hey, there's Sander VK History. How's it going, man? Let's see. Cork Driver 44. Presume that Midway would be just as hard to get to as Iwo Jima. Yes. Yeah, Midway is another tough one. It's one that I've looked into. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would take to get there. So yeah, let me back up a little bit. Here's somebody that said something about Guadalcanal. Just finished Guadalcanal for 2 times. If you're interested in the Battle of Guadalcanal, there's a channel called Walking a Battlefield, and it is the go-to channel as far as anything to do with Guadalcanal. Hey, Tim York, how's it going? Would be cool to do a walkthrough at Antietam or Gettysburg with Will Frazanito's books. That's a really good idea. I think that you are going to like one of the episodes that we have coming up in the Antietam series. But yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's see. Here's somebody asking a question that I get every once in a while about any follow-ups to Camp Toccoa to see any progress. So at Camp Toccoa itself, if that's what you're referring to, those people are doing great. I mean, I love what they are doing at Camp Toccoa. And right now I don't know what stage they are putting together their C-47, but there's constantly improvements being made to that museum and to that complex. If you are referring to Currahee Mountain, I'm just going to be blunt. That we had the group that went and cleaned up the mountain and got it looking nice. Unfortunately, let me back up. Our hope was that once it got cleaned up, that there would be kind of a catalyst to maybe do some things to protect that site. And the Currahee cleanup project continues to do great work there and goes up and cleans and everything like that. Unfortunately, the steps that need to be taken to protect that place properly aren't being taken. It's a shame. But yeah, I want to. Yeah, I don't want to voice too many of my thoughts on that because I don't. Yeah, but it's unfortunate that the proper steps haven't been taken to protect that mountain and to do something more to interpret for the the people who trained there and went over to fight in Europe. So anyway. Oh, okay. So yeah, talking about the C-47 and the barracks. But yeah, if I get back down there, yeah, I'll show some of the update. The last time I was there, I think they had 2 of the barracks complete, and still we're going to be doing 2 more. And I think that Chris from Vlogging Through History was planning on going down there for something, doing like a group meetup or something like that. I could be wrong on that. But he might be able to get down there and give an update before I can. Let's see. Marty Smith, Fan Sue, what's your favorite? Whoops, slipped by me here. What's your favorite place or story or video that you've done? Um, my favorite video, I don't know if it'll ever be replaced as my favorite. My favorite one that I've done was on my first series to you can go back and find it in the playlist. It's like France and Belgium or something like that. But my first trip to France and Belgium on the channel went up to Saint Vith, and while I was there, called my friend Reed, who had been taken prisoner on the first day of the battle. But he was a machine gunner in the 7th Armored Division. Anyway, I called him while I was right there, kind of in the area or in the spot where he was captured. Found the area where these guys had their foxholes, his particular company. That was a special moment to me, and I don't ever foresee that moment being topped. And then Reed passed away the next year, or no, I'm sorry, it was later that year. He passed away. So I mean, for me personally, to have that memory on film and to be able to go back and watch it and kind of relive it, yeah, nothing will ever surpass that. Let's see. Charlie Bruss, have you ever been to Auschwitz or Dachau? Auschwitz, no, but I will. And then Dachau, earlier in the streams talking about how I took a trip to Dachau 2-3 weeks ago, got back. So that'll be coming up after the new year, the Germany content. Hey, Kenneth New, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for keeping history alive. Doing my best to add a little bit to help things out. Let's see. Mark Hewitt, grandfather was in the 28th Infantry Division during World War II. Could you do a video on them? Never really talked about the war. That would be cool. I've kicked around the idea of picking a division. Somebody who's not the 101st Airborne or the 82nd Airborne or the 1st Infantry Division or the 29th, or maybe even picking a few of those, and kind of following their path, through Europe in World War II. But even with like the 1st Infantry Division or the 29th, everybody focuses on D-Day, and then there's not a whole lot after that. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to pick one of these lesser known divisions and kind of trace their paths and talk about what they did. Because I mean, like I said, everybody focuses on those few divisions, and then even within those, they focus on D-Day. The exception being the 101st Airborne, just because they seem to have a really good PR team even during the war, and also of course Band of Brothers, really kind of help people to kind of be able to trace that path. But I think it would be cool to see some others. Let's see. Somebody asking if I've met John Shively, Guadalcanal tour guide. No. Can't say that I have. Another question: if I'm still teaching full-time YouTube? Yep, still hammering it out in the education space, trying to stamp out ignorance. Um, let's see. Celebrating my friend First Lieutenant George Jones's birthday today. He turns 100. Dude, that is awesome. That is cool. Man, there are fewer and fewer of these guys left. We just lost Pee Wee Martin not too long ago. Um, and one of these days in the not too distant future, we're gonna open up our news app or see it on TV or something, and they're going to be talking about how the last World War II veteran has died, just like how in whenever that was 2003 maybe, um, the last World War I veteran died. So let's see, getting some other good suggestions on units to follow. Let's see, any plans for the Netherlands? Maybe Arnhem. Yeah. So um, definitely planning on getting to the Netherlands. Here's going to be my issue with the Netherlands: is that I know too many people who are in the Netherlands, and I'm going to have to schedule like 2 weeks to be there, or 3 weeks or something, just so that I can link up with all of them. So Iron Mike Metal Detecting, he's from the Netherlands, great channel. Sander VK, Snafu Docs. So Joey Meeson from Snafu Docs is there. So yeah, there are a lot of Dutch history people in the YouTube space. But yeah, definitely want to get to the Netherlands at some point. Darren, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Speaking of the super chat, I just because YouTube kept bothering me about it, I just enabled something not too long ago called a channel membership, where if people feel so inclined, they can donate to the channel. And I think it's like $5 a month, so like a Starbucks cup of coffee per month. And then in the community tab, I do this with Patreon as well, but I'll upload like some little bonus videos or something. I haven't done it on the membership one yet, but anyway, yeah, just something to put on your radar. Let's see if I've ever been to the Anne Frank house. No, I have not. But again, another place that's high on the list. When I go to the Netherlands, I really want to go there. Let's see. If you ever come to Bermuda, there's some Boer War POW camps. That's interesting. Huh. Mr. Baker, didn't know you had a Patreon. Yeah, I do. And the people who support on Patreon are like some of the best people ever. They are awesome. And I feel so guilty because sometimes I don't quite do updates as regularly as I should. Like I said, I'm still teaching full time. I still have a family. I still have obligations at church, and I'm doing this, uploading 2-3 times a week. So anyway, yeah, have some great supporters on Patreon. And what I've started doing is I have like a homegrown American artifact series that I'm starting, where I collect as well. So I show like some of the things out of my collection and things like that. But yeah, I don't really hype it or talk about it as much, just because I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It still blows my mind that people even watch the channel. So for me to ask for things beyond that, I don't know. I just feel weird about it. But I am super appreciative of the people who do support. They are seriously awesome. Have you considered doing videos on Vietnam? Yep. That's another one that I would love to go to. Again, man, I wish I had more time. Um, but what's it like knowing Gary Edelman? Is he really that hyper of a personality in person? So here's the thing about Gary. Uh, what you see on the American Battlefield Trust videos, that's Gary. He is a super animated and passionate person. He talks with his hands. I think if you handcuffed him, it would render him mute. I don't know if he could talk, but he's super passionate and is really an awesome guy and has been so good to me, and so generous. And um, here's what I like. One of the many things that I like about Gary Edelman. Uh, I don't know if there's anything about Gettysburg, the Battle of Gettysburg, especially Civil War in general, but Battle of Gettysburg especially, that he doesn't know. He is one of the most knowledgeable people out there when it comes to the Battle of Gettysburg. But when you are talking to him about it, he is super humble. Um, and if you ask like a basic question, um, something like if you even have a cursory knowledge of the Battle of Gettysburg, you should know. Um, he he takes the time and explains it and doesn't, you know, even though he has every right to treat you like an idiot for asking a dumb question, he doesn't. He wants people to learn. He's very passionate about history. The man is awesome. Yes, he's really a great guy, and is hilarious too. Let's see. Do you have an email or contact number for questions about a Civil War collection that needs to be documented? Not 100% sure what you mean by needs to be documented. Um, and I have to be right honest. I get so many emails and messages. It has become almost impossible for me to keep up with. So I do what I can, and I feel bad that a lot of emails and things slip through the cracks. If you're looking for something that's really in depth, whether it's about preservation or something like that, um, I could maybe point you to some other sources. I don't know that I would be your best source for that, but maybe like National Civil War Museum or something like that. If you're looking to like donate items to the Gettysburg Museum of History, then I can kind of be a conduit for that. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question or not, but I have my emails on the about page of the YouTube channel. Let's see. Will you happen to be in Gettysburg last weekend in October? No, I sure won't. But Eric is there all the time, so you can go to the Gettysburg Museum of History and check that out. Yeah, I get to like I said, I get to Gettysburg a couple of times a year. Um, Most of the time, so I o- on one of the trips I'll try and do like a meet and greet type thing, or maybe a battlefield tour or things like that. The other times when I'm there is usually filming at the museum with Eric. Um, and unfortunately, I just like I said, I have a full time job, so um, I don't get as much time as I would like. Um, but I've been to Gettysburg a lot, and people will see me, you know, out and about at Mr. G's Ice Cream or at a restaurant or something like that. And if you ever see me, you know, definitely come up. Don't ever feel like you are interrupting me or that I'm too busy. I enjoy meeting people and talking to people. When I was in Germany, this was the weirdest thing to me. We were at the site of Hitler's Berghof in Berchtesgaden, right there in the Obersalzberg. If you know anything about the Berghof, it's there's nothing there except for pieces of the foundation and the retaining wall. It was bombed April 25th, 1945, and then was blown up. In in the early 1950s. So there's really not a lot there. And Eric and I were walking out of the woods, and there was this couple who was coming down the road, and they saw me and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we watch your channel all the time." So here I was all the way over in Germany, and met some people who liked the channel. And then when we were in Berchtesgaden, we were filming at a site, and this car pulled in, and this big tall guy got out, and I thought, "Uh-oh, maybe we're someplace that we're not supposed to be," and somebody's telling us that we had to move. And it was a guy from the Netherlands who drove by and saw us filming, and he's like, "Hey, I watch your channel all the time." So anyway, it was really cool to meet new people. Let's see. I think some people are asking about the membership button. It should be there on the main page. So, well, I don't know. If I look at it on my own phone, since it's my own channel, I don't know if I'll see it or not. Hmm. Let me look at the About page. Okay. I have no idea. Oh, wait. Okay. So, wait a minute. Let me go back. So here's my phone. And I don't know if you can. Okay. Lighting is all jacked up here. But anyway, at the top, it says like home, videos, playlists, community. And then if I scroll over, there's a tab there at the top that says membership. And it'll pull up something like that. So, anyway, should be able to access it there. But honestly, don't feel like I hope I hope by saying that I don't feel obligated or anything. I'm appreciative that people even watch this channel. It still blows my mind. Um, but yeah, as long as people are you know watching and subscribing and sharing it with few others, I'm so thankful for that. Let's see. History Savior. Any plans on doing some stuff with the Italian campaign? I had some plans. As a matter of fact, I had a trip that was booked to go to Rome in March of 2020. I think I was like 2 or 3 weeks out from traveling, and it got cut, and then didn't make it back. So anyway. Let's see. Roller coaster, the Obersalzberg tunnel bunker system is amazing. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I wish that I knew. Um, any places that had access to the tunnel system in the Obersalzberg was closed while we were there. They're doing they're building like a new documentation center. They're close to where you park to go up to the Eagle's Nest, where the what was it, the Platterhof Hotel, like that area. Um, so anyway, unfortunately, we didn't get to go into any of the tunnels. Um, so Colin asking some questions about teaching. It's college where I found my passion for showing and teaching history. So my love of history actually predates college. I'm going to be just right honest. I didn't have a great college experience. I left college pretty jaded about the entire experience. I won't say where I went because I don't want to kind of slam the college, but it was. I'll say this: it was a very well known state college. Okay, so it wasn't like some obscure place that didn't have resources or whatever. It was a very well known state college that I went to school at, or university, and I had a bad experience there. I found the whole thing to be a colossal waste of my time. Um, so I got the degree and I got the teaching certificate, and that was about the only value that I got. I didn't even go to school for history. I took one history class the entire time I was in college. It was actually a biology major. Um, Went in for biology education. Of course, I teach history now. Um, Anything that I've ever learned about history is right here. Just reading books, watching YouTube, watching documentaries. That's where 100% of my historical knowledge comes from, and hanging out with people who are smarter than me and learning from them. People like Eric and Gary Edelman and Chris and all those people. Um, but yeah, so my love of history actually predates school. As a matter of fact, I had a good history teacher in high school, um, but it was probably more just hanging out with my grandpa and hearing his stories and asking him questions. That's really what sparked my love of history, and then also my dad. My dad was into like space history, and space travel. So a lot of that is where I got it. Um, but but yeah, the college experience um, was not awesome for me. Like I said, I found it to be a big waste of time. But there are some people who go and I've heard had a great experience in college. So anyway, uh, you get to hear a little bit of the more negative, cynical side of JD now. Sorry about that. Let's see. Let's see. Visited the 5 batteries in Normandy on one of the hottest days in July. I was wrecked, tired afterwards. Yeah. I've never been to Normandy in the summertime, so maybe I should try that out sometime. My thing is, I like to go places when the crowds aren't as big. Um, so people have asked, like, "Oh man, you should go to Normandy on the anniversary." And to be honest, I mean, maybe there's some elements of that might be cool, seeing, some of the living historians or seeing some of the vehicles or things like that. To be honest, I just don't have much of a desire to do that. Um, and it's mainly because if I go someplace, I wanna immerse myself in the history. I don't wanna immerse myself in the crowd. But I understand that there are some places that, you know, it's unavoidable that you're just going to be around people. And they're there to learn history too. So um, I can't be too critical there. Let's see, Korean War history plans. My grandpa was in the 40th Infantry Division, was a combat engineer. So I would love to get to Korea for sure. Hello from Franklin, Tennessee. I've got some videos from Franklin. Um, Pretty amazing place. If you've not been to some of the Battle of Franklin sites, like Carnton and like the battlefield itself and the Carter House. Oh my gosh, I've got 3 or 4 videos. That's from a little while back. But if you go to YouTube and type in "history traveler Franklin," they will all pop up. Holy cow! That what they have done there is simply amazing. They have a YouTube channel as well. That's pretty cool. Um, let's see. You don't need to go. Uh, you don't need college to be smart. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. Pa- 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 pam. So, and kind of along with that, so I don't want to try and ding academics or people who have gone to college and who have got the degrees and things like that. I think there's a place for that as well. Um, but some of the most knowledgeable people that I've known and who I would consider experts um, didn't even darken the doors of a university. Paul Woodage is an excellent example. So World War II TV, Go watch 4 or 5 episodes of World War II TV. Um, Paul is probably one of the most um, intelligent, insightful people that I've ever had the chance to be around. And yeah, never went to school, um, or college or anything like that. But I would consider him to be one of the foremost experts on the Battle of Normandy and World War II in general. Pa, 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 pa. Let's see. Have you researched the 394th INR platoon at the Bulge? No. I have the book The Longest Winter, though. I just haven't read it yet. Kind of like most of my books, I have like this giant stack of books. I have books that are stacked up on the floor. I have books on the bookshelf. I have books on tables. I have a whole bunch of books just all over the house that I haven't read. So again, I need to. Um, I wish that I could clone myself and have like a book reading version of me and a teaching version of me and like a history traveler version of me. Yeah, but unfortunately, I have to combine all those into me. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Have you ever played any of the Call of Duty World War II games? No, I haven't. To be honest, I haven't played a video game in years. And really, it's simply because I'm so stinking busy. Um, I, I wake up 4:30 in the morning, go to bed 10:30 at night, and literally almost every minute of my day is filled. So I wish that I had time to do that kind of stuff. Pa, 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 pa. Let's see. Going to get somebody's talking about going to Gettysburg on the anniversary. Yeah, that would. I mean, I guess I should go once, just to see it. Gary was telling me. Was he telling me a story, or did I hear him telling a story about going to Gettysburg on the 150th anniversary? And I guess that at the 150th, they were doing a recreation of Pickett's Charge or Longstreet's Assault, and they got like forgive me if I get this story wrong, but they got like close to the same number of people that the Confederates would have had coming across that field. And Gary got up on top of the Pennsylvania Monument to watch that. And as he was up there, there was this crowd of people, and he starts kind of just narrating things as they're going. So he's like pointing and saying, "Okay, this crowd that's coming over here, that's where Pickett's division would have been, and here's where this regiment was, and this, that, and the other." And that would have been cool to see. That's one instance where going to an anniversary would have really been interesting to me, just to see that mass of people all coming across that field and getting an idea as to what it looked like. But anyway, Jeff Thiessen, do you take? Am I dumb? Oh, e-transfers. Okay. I couldn't make that out. Yeah. So if you go to the About page, there's a PayPal button as well. And I've had people that have donated money for like a tank of gas or something like that on PayPal. Colton Burke, thanks for the super chat. Keep growing that beard. Thanks. Oh man. Let's see, what time is it here? We've been going for a little over an hour. We'll stick around for a few more minutes, and then I've got to I've got to I've got some Antietam content that I need to be editing. Um, let's see, Anthony DM, longtime fan. Thank you for the videos. Thank you. I appreciate you all watching. It really, like I said, just blows me away. Any plans to visit Petersburg? I know that the battlefield is largely gone. Yeah. So yeah, definitely want to visit Petersburg. Battle of the Crater. The American Battlefield Trust has some good stuff on that I would recommend. Um, but let's see. Gary Edelman is a legend. Was recently here at Blakely. Yep. Yeah, that was cool seeing Gary Edelman at Fort Blakely. And you can go back on my channel and see the visit that myself and History Savior 1941 did at Blakely. That was a good time. Hi from England. Videos are the highlights of my week. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I need to spend some time in England. What a travesty that I haven't done any videos from there. Norway, another place I would like to visit. Let's see. Oh, here's somebody that had a relative that fought at the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain. Yep. Yeah, so mine was in the 27th Illinois. And I'm planning on, this is another one of my big ideas. So I know all the battles where he fought. My ancestor who was in the 27th Illinois. His name was John Franklin Ellis. And I'm planning on maybe doing a series in the future where I follow his path. So he starts off, he's mustered into service in Alton, Illinois, and he fought at Stones River. So while I'm there, I think Preston Stewart is very close to there. He has an excellent channel as well. Might try and link up with him. And then he was in several big battles. He fought at Chickamauga. That's the reason I haven't done any Chickamauga content, is I'm holding it back for when I do this idea of following my ancestors' footsteps. He was wounded at Missionary Ridge, got hit in the face with either shrapnel or mini ball. We don't know exactly what the case was. Went out for a little bit and then came back in and then fought at the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain and got right up to Atlanta and then was mustered out of service. But he, the wound that he sustained at Missionary Ridge left a big scar, like on his upper lip, and he ended up growing a beard to hide the scar. And his granddaughter was when she was a young girl. He shaved his beard and mustache, and the scar was so gnarly, I guess, that it scared her, and she cried and wouldn't let him hold her or anything like that. And after that, he ended up growing back the beard and had it for the rest of his life, just to cover up that scar that he sustained from the wound he sustained at Missionary Ridge. So anyway, I want to go and do that. Let's see. Don't forget Shiloh. It's a haunting battlefield. So I had intentions. I had the whole thing planned out and ready to go. Was going to go to Shiloh earlier this year and do a series. And then the war broke out in Ukraine, and I ended up going there. So the time that I would have spent at Shiloh, what I was going to do was film it in March, like late February or early March, and then release it on the anniversary. But then when the war broke out in Ukraine, that kind of crushed those plans. So anyway, all right. Few more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here and let you all go on about your day. Any World War I content in the pipeline? Yes, absolutely. I'm kind of working on that. I would like to maybe do some Verdun stuff. Do like a little series on Verdun. That battle fascinates me. I think I have. There's a book on the Somme, Proud Tower. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, here's a good book called The Price of Glory on the Battle of Verdun. And ever since I read that, I've wanted to go there and spend some time. I actually was in the area of Verdun, but anyway, that's a big long story of how that whole idea collapsed on itself while I was in France a couple years ago. Um. Anyway, let's see. There was one other question here, and I can't remember. I lost it. Okay. Well, crud. Um. We'll circle back and do this again sometime. It's good to catch up with people, and it's good to actually, you know, as much as of an interaction as this is, not exactly face to face. I was getting ready to say face to face, but yeah, it's good to be able to catch up with people and answer questions. And you all have been uh, beyond kind and generous to me. So I hope that you continue to enjoy the content on the channel. Like I said, Antietam coming up next, collaboration with American Battlefield Trust and Vlogging Through History, which if you haven't subscribed to those two, I would definitely recommend it. After that, probably looking at some Revolutionary War content. And then around the New Year, got a series in Germany. And after that, I have no clue. I don't know what I'm doing next after that. That's still up in the air. I might end up just doing a whole bunch of random stuff after that. Not do any series. Just hit a few places here and there. Um, and then long-term plans. Um, I actually have like a 3-year plan for Gettysburg. Like I'm wanting to film some stuff and do like a day 1 series, and then the next year do a day 2 series, and the year after that do a day 3 series. And yeah, and then World War One, Greece, Israel. The list is too long. But anyway, thank you all. Appreciate it. If you know somebody who might benefit from the channel, feel free to share it out with them. Encourage them to subscribe, and yeah, maybe we can all be working together and doing a little bit more to stamp out ignorance, and get people into history and kind of appreciating some of the things that got us to where we are today. But yeah, thanks so much, and I will see you all later.